Welcome friends to Muskrat Links. We've got a very interesting video for you guys today, kind of more of a vlog style thing going on. We're going to talk about the course, what we want to do in the future. I got some projects I want to show you guys because, well, the snow was starting to melt and now we just got another like 7 inches. Come on, I'll take you outside, let's go. Well, it's looking kind of windy out here too. It might just be outside until I can't feel my hands anymore. All right, let's go explore. Oh my God, I'm freaking blind. Get me back into the shade. There we go. Well, now you guys can't see me. Ah! So here's the deal. For, what, 4, 5, 6 years now, Muskrat Links Golf has been a 22-hole course in the backyard with a par of 86, right? Which has been great. We tried to maximize the amount of golf we can play on the yard, but it might be time for a change. I'm thinking about cutting it down to an 18-hole par 72 course, and I want to talk to you guys about the changes that I might make to the course because there's some major changes, right? And then also in this video, I want to talk to you guys about what you saw in the thumbnail because we got a super cool article written about us, about the Muskrat Links golf story. I'll go ahead and link that in the description down below if you guys want to check it out, but we'll talk about that later today too. So let's go up to the first tee and talk about some of the changes I want to make. This was melted literally 1 day ago, and now we're back. 7 inches of ice and snow. They're even starting to tear apart here as well. We got to order some new flags. I want to get some custom Muskrat Links flags. That would be pretty cool. I need the budget for that though. I need more of you guys to tap that subscribe button. No, in all seriousness, thank you guys for your support. Join the Muskrat Links golf team today. We've got so much cool stuff here on the channel. We've got our TikTok going as well. So go ahead and give us a follow over there. But we are almost back to the outdoor golf season. I'm super excited about it. We've got a huge year planned. We've got amazing golf courses to share with you guys. We've got cool stories I want to tell. I cannot wait to get back out there. But yeah, today the story is about Muskrat Links and a bunch of other stuff. So the course. What is my plan for the course, right? Let's start with the first hole actually, hole 1-5, straight down here. So if we're gonna cut down from 22 to 18 holes, we need to cut out some holes, right? And I think the holes that go on this side of the house, like the shed, right? So we got the shed all the way down there. It ends up being kind of gimmicky and the shed kind of blocks shots. And then you've got the trees there that kind of overhang and block the hole as well. I think we need to cut out those holes right away. I think those are the first to go. So hole, what is this? 1-5 needs to go. Hole 2-5 needs to get cut out. That's 2-5A, which means you go around this side of the house because that's kind of gimmicky too, right? Like the A side and the B side of the house. So that hole's getting cut out. And then the hole coming back, of course, 5-2A on this side of the house probably also gets cut out. So that's 3 holes cut right away. That brings us down to 19. And so we just have to cut out 1 more. I could cut out hole 5-1, but I think that hole is actually okay going from there back up to here. I think that hole is good because the shed isn't really in play at all. You're just hitting directly over it. There's nothing kind of in the way. It's not really gimmicky. So I think that one stays, which brings me to the final hole I think I want to cut out, which is hole 5-4, which is the short par 3 hitting from down there up to the hole with the pavers in it. So let's go check it out and talk about that one next. I'm actually walking over there and I lied. It's not hole 5-4, it's hole 3-4 that I want to cut out. I've got another plan for hole 5-4 to deal with its gimmickiness. So let's go check out 3-4 first. All right, so here we go. This is hole 4, right? Or green 4, I should say. And down there you can see hole number 3. So we've got hole 3 up to hole 4. I think this one is the last one we cut out because one, we have to cut out par 3s because now the par 3s are way more common than the par 5s. So we have to start cutting out and changing some of the par 3s if we want to make this a par 72 18-hole course, right? So I think we lose this one because it has this path right in front, right? Like we've got the path that runs along here. It's like a cart path right in your landing zone, so it makes it kind of weird. And it's kind of gimmicky because the grass grows up and you got some pavers like right down here as well, so you get like some weird bounces. It's a little bit unnatural, I guess I want to say. It's less natural than hole 4-3 heading back down there. That's just like a straight shot, grass, nothing gimmicky about it. You just have to make a good shot, right? So I think we get rid of that par 3, hole 3-4, and then where that leaves us is we end up with like a par 69 or something like that. So we have to raise the par of some of the holes, maybe change some tee box locations to get it to a par 72. Because right now we have way more par 3s than we have par 5s. So we got to make some changes there too. I'll tell you about the first change I want to do. As long as I don't get hit by a tree first. Things are starting to move up there. Yikes. Well, we might as well start with this one since we're standing right here. So we've got hole 4-1 back where we started in the back corner, right? And then hole 1 to 4 coming back the same way. Those are currently par 4s, and we could consider making one or both of them par 5s. They're pretty long. You have to hit around the house for both of them, so you get kind of like a weird angle going here. The weirder angle is actually hole 1-4 because you hit your drive, you land somewhere over here by where Wavy's Playhouse is now. Shout out to the neighbors for giving us that. And then depending on how far you hit it, you actually don't have a look into this green. You get cut off. Again, it's a little gimmicky. Like if you don't hit a perfect drive, you can't actually reach the par 4 and 2, which is kind of stupid. So maybe we make that one the par 5. Then if we go down this way, I'll show you guys hole 5-4, which is a par 3 that I'm thinking of turning into a par 4. All right, so here we are down at hole 5. You guys know this hole. It's the par 3 that we go from here right up to there. And again, I'll admit it, this is probably the most gimmicky hole we have on the course. This design isn't great, calling it a par 3, because you can't take a direct line at the pin. You absolutely get stuck up in this tree. The best you can do is either hit off the roof and hope it bounces down to the green, or play it out front onto the path, which again is kind of dumb because if you hit the path, you just bounce further and then try to chip up and make par, right? So I think it's pretty safe to just call this one a par 4 and move on with our lives, right? Like put the tee box further back here and then, you know, give yourself an easy 2 shots up and in, and then it becomes kind of a drivable par 4 if you want to get really risky and play off the roof. So I think that's a good solution for this hole, and that turns another par 3 into a par 4. And then the final change I want to make is turning one more par 3 into a par 4, and then we'll have a nice balanced par 72. And this one kind of hurts me a little bit because I really like this hole. It's hole 1-2. Let's check it out. Here is hole 1-2. It's from here across the crap over to hole 2. This one's fun because you have to go for it because it's a par 3. You kind of have to go over the crap, but then you get those tree branches hanging up there that can knock the ball down. If you hit it a little bit short, you end up in the ditch there. So it makes it a really fun, really difficult par 3. So what I'm thinking here is we take the tee box, we move it back a little bit further, back towards this tree or wherever the other tee box is. It's somewhere here underground. But anyway, use this tee box instead. Make it a potentially drivable par 4 where you can still take the risk and try to clear all the crap and hit over there to it. And you got a huge reward if you can get right next to the green. It's like an easy birdie. But then the normal play is to play out this way and go around the edge of those trees and then hit in on your second shot like a normal par 4. So it turns into a dogleg left par 4 that you can go for if you want to try to bomb your drive. I think that's a really good way of kind of saving this hole, making it more fun, and again, making it a par 72 course. So let's head back into the garage and we'll talk about some of the changes we made and then show you some more fun stuff. All right, let's stay in the garage for a short amount of time as possible. I'll just show you guys what we got going on in here. Ooh, that's better. And then we'll head back inside and look at some other cool stuff. So obviously, if we do redesign the course, we're gonna have to redesign the scorecards as well, right? So I'm not opposed to that. I love doing graphic design type work. It's really fun designing these in the first place, so updating them with new logos. And by the way, do you guys like the new channel logo? Hopefully you guys do. I'm thinking about changing it up a little bit to put the muskrat more in the center and bigger so you kind of just see his face in the golf club. Maybe I've done that already by the time this video comes out, but let me know what you guys think of that. And of course, let me know what you think of these potential course designs as well. Obviously, Muskrat Links has been a huge project for me over the past 4 or 5 years. And I'm sad to change it, right? Like it feels bad to change a little bit because then you kind of have the records that go away, right? Like we've got old course records and new course records, but it's also kind of fun, and it also feels like I'm kind of bringing it up into, a more current state, a more normal state where it's more approachable for people. They can see it, they recognize the score, the pars make sense. We end up with 5 par 5s, 5 par 3s, and I think it would be 8 par 4s. Like that makes a lot of sense. That's a lot closer to what like normal golf looks like for people, right? I think that's what I want to do. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you guys think from an outside perspective, seeing me play this course, about the changes I want to make and if you think they make sense or not. But yeah, one other thing I've been working on quite a bit recently is the golf ball compression testing. I want to show you guys some of the data that I worked on and talk about some of the problems I ran into or problems I foresee myself running into as we collect all that data and design that database of golf ball compression compression ourselves. Very exciting. So one problem that I didn't have was I thought it would be a lot harder to get the golf ball squished to a point where I could actually measure the data meaningfully, but we actually only ended up needing about 300 pounds of pressure to squish it to the point where you can really see a difference between a firm golf ball and a soft golf ball. Like, it didn't take that much overall, because this scale can put out, I think it's 24,000 pounds of pressure, which is insane, and we only needed like 300 to see a real difference. So that makes this test inherently a lot safer, which of course I'm very happy with. And then the only other issue I ran into is actually with the micrometer, which is, it's inside right now. So we'll go back inside, get out of the cold, and talk about that. Normally I don't get to film at this angle either for you guys, so you guys can see like the wall behind me now. Usually I have to face the screen to really show you guys a good video, but now at least I can get all the cool golf stuff behind me in the shot. So anyway, the micrometer, that is why we're here, right? So as you guys know, this is the tool in question here, and we put our golf balls in here to measure them, and then we squish them in the vise and then measure them again when they're squished. So obviously they're gonna be bigger after they get squished, right? But the problem is, and I'll get up close to show you guys this, it's really hard to get the dimples right and get it right in the center without any alignment. Like, the ball kind of slips out, so you kind of have to go back and try to eyeball it and just like guess exactly where it is, and it still slips into the dimples a little bit. You can see it's not perfectly in the center there. So that's the problem I'm running into. I think I have a solution for it though, to get more accurate readings, right? Take a look at this. There, so the measuring tip there that you can just about see, I'm trying to get it to focus correctly on it. There we go, that tip there that you can see, the circle that's reflecting, it's smooth, right? I'm thinking that if I put like a little washer on top of that, with the center of the washer being smaller than that circle, I can kind of attach it there. I can like glue it in or something like that, or rubber cement it, so that I have a little circle kind of indent in there, and that will make it sit and it won't slide down into the dimples like it had been doing before. So I think that might be the play to kind of get this measure more consistently. And again, it's very, very accurate right now, but I just have trouble. It takes a lot of time, and I'm not getting the results that I really, really want. Not that I know what the results are supposed to be, just that I want this data to be as accurate as possible, and I think this is going to be a good way to increase that accuracy. So let me actually show you the data, what I've collected so far, because it's actually really interesting. So here we go. Here is the data. This is what I've collected so far, just doing some preliminary tests, right? So I tested 3 golf balls. I tested 2 Callaway Super Softs. One was white, one was yellow, and then I tested a Titleist Velocity, just white. And the way it works is I took measurements before and after. So I measure the diameter of the golf ball along the seam, and essentially the seam is what the USGA calls the seam. So if there is an actual seam on the golf ball, that's the seam, because it is the seam. And if there's no seam present, what they'll do is they'll take the minor marking and call that the seam. So not like the big logo that says Titleist or it says Callaway, but like the alignment marking, like Chrome Soft, like that would be considered the seam if this golf ball didn't have a seam. I don't know if this one does or not, but anyway. So then we take the same measurement under 300 pounds of pressure from the vise, try to measure in the exact same place, and then we see the difference between those 2 numbers. We do that for the seam, we do that for the pull, and we do that for an off angle. My off angle measurement for this wasn't very good. I didn't have a good system for deciding where the off angle was, so I think these numbers are kind of crap at the moment. So I probably won't end up using that when I actually start running this test, but maybe I'll take multiple seam measurements, multiple pull measurements, and then go from there. So then what I did is I took the difference from those 2 numbers, and I'm calling this the Kyler compression coefficient, right? Might as well make up something new. So we've got the seam, the pull, and the off number, and then I have the average of all of them being that coefficient that we're looking for. And then this is that same coefficient without measuring the off angle. So we can then compare that to the known ADDI value. And again, this is the actual compression of the ball measured by My Golf Spy. This is not a manufacturer number. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say that before the comment clowns will keep posting things down below, but the game's the game, right? So this has been independently tested, collected from dozens of different golf balls. The Callaway Super Soft here is compression of 47, but it has a pretty large delta between 38 and 55. So when you crack open, you know, a Callaway Super Soft, it could be a 38 compression, it could be a 55 compression. It's a pretty big gap, but on average it ends up being pretty close to 47. And then you look at the Titleist Velocity, and that is an 84 with a fairly tight compression delta there between 80 and 89. So the velocity is much firmer, much firmer, I should say, than the super soft. The super soft is supposed to be soft, right? That's its gimmick. And what we got is some numbers that actually showed the same thing, right? We saw that the first golf ball I tested, which is these top two rows right here, we got a compression coefficient of 0.044, then 0.043. Then we got a compression coefficient of the second ball we tested of 0.041 and 0.046. That was kind of a decent difference between those. There might have been a weird squirrely number in here, like this number seems fairly high. Maybe I have to take that measurement again. This is just like the first time I've tried this process just to see what happens and see if we got data that actually means something. And we did, which is so cool, because then you go ahead and look at the Titleist velocity and we got a big difference. It's 0.021 and 0.022. So there's a big difference between how much the super soft squished out and how much the velocity squished out, because it's such a firmer golf ball. So the idea is we take some known data from MyGolfSpy, build out a database of our data and see how well it correlates to the MyGolfSpy data. Once we establish that, we can tell how relevant and meaningful our data is, and then we can start experimenting on some balls that aren't in the MyGolfSpy database, so we can compression test independently any golf ball we want, which is really exciting. Let me know if there's anything I left out here. Again, this is all open. I'm just kind of making all of these decisions myself, but it's really good to get some input from you guys too, to kind of keep me in check and make sure I'm moving in the right direction to get data that makes sense, is accurate, and is ultimately useful, right? That's the goal. That is kind of what I've got going on. See if I can modify our micrometer here to be a little bit more accurate with the numbers that we're trying to get here, getting that compression data and getting that measurement to be as precise as possible. And let's go ahead and talk about the article that got published actually, because we are a published, wait, not author, we are a published content creator hub now? I don't know. Anyway, let's check out the article. So before we jump into it, again, I want to say a big thank you to Eric for writing this article and doing the interview with me. I had so much fun chatting with him. And he actually found my channel because he was looking at some courses he wanted to play in New Hampshire, so he went to check YouTube to see if people were making videos about them, and lo and behold, I'm essentially the only one because I'm the only channel doing this. So he found the channel, he liked what he saw, and he reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, I'd be totally down to help you write an article. I think that'd be really cool. I think it helps both of us, obviously, Eric being a very talented writer who often publishes things with the New Hampshire Business Review, and then myself being a content creator looking to get our story out there to share New Hampshire golf with the world. It's a big win-win, right? It ended up being a bigger win than I ever could imagined. Check this out, guys. We actually made the cover. Did we lose to the Southwest airline plane? Possibly, but we still made the cover, which is really, really cool.
I'm on the cover of a magazine!
So I'm gonna go ahead and link the actual article down here for you guys to check out if you wanna read it. It's really cool. Like I said, Eric did a great job. We might try to get out and play some golf this year as well. I think that would be pretty cool. It tells our story well, so if you're not as familiar with the Muskrat Links golf story, which most of you probably are because most of you who watch all these long form videos have been around for a while. Again, this is a very interesting read, so go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think. I think this is super cool, and it's gonna be great to help us kind of validate our requests when we're going around chatting to golf courses saying, hey, I wanna come film here. This is our mission. This is what we do. It's really cool to now say, you could find this cool article in New Hampshire Business Review about us. It really helps validate, what we're doing and what our mission is. So this is super cool. This is like a 10 out of 10 cool. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna have to go ahead and get a copy of this and get this bad boy framed. Southwest wins, Kyler loses. Anyway, what do we got next? Oh, we've got the Mulligan's Indoor Golf League kind of wrapping up here. So let's just go ahead and talk about that real quick for a second, because that is huge. And we can walk around now too, give us a little more dynamic view for you guys to check out. We'll go head out to the garage. So as you guys know, Pops and I have been playing in the Mulligan's Competitive Sim League all through this winter, and we did end up finishing in the top 4. So we are heading to the playoffs. That's better. We are heading to the playoffs, so that means we get 2 extra weeks of Sim League. I think we're gonna end up being in either spot 2 or 3, probably spot 3, but it doesn't matter because seed 2 plays seed 3 anyway. So we're probably gonna be playing the Fighting French Canadians, which is a team we've been kind of going back and forth with all season, so that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to those playoff games. So the way it works is seed 2 plays seed 3, seed 1 plays seed 4, the winners then play each other, the losers then play each other to determine how much money you get. And I couldn't be more excited. It's gonna be super competitive. It actually turns into match play as well. So it's best ball match play for the finals. Pops and I are really hoping to put in a good performance, give you guys like a 5 under, a 6 under, something like that, and see if we can move on to that final. That would be amazing. So serious competitive golf coming your way in the next week or two here, hopefully with a big result. Maybe those will be single episodes, maybe double episodes. Depends on how we do, I suppose. But yeah, I also got some additional lighting for the garage too. Hold up, hold up. Yeah, we got another one of those big lights, which will be great. I'm thinking about putting it up there and replacing that old guy to kind of match that nice bright light that we got down here. I'm not sure if it's gonna wash out the simulator screen that much. I think it'll be okay though. I could also replace some of the other lights, but really this one up here is the one that impacts us the most. I'll probably swap that guy out. SkyTrack doing okay, gotta renew my subscription for that. But yeah, we're kind of just like prepping the golf for spring here because spring is on the way. The snow, well, we were doing a lot better the other day, but as you guys saw earlier, the snow is, it's back, but it's melting out. There's drips coming from the roof there. Hopefully we can get down and get out to the southern New Hampshire courses again so we can hit those golf balls and then find them in the woods. Of course, the best content that you guys love and the content I love to film. But I think that is gonna be it for me, guys. We talked about all the cool topics. Let me know what you think about the Muskrat Links revamp. Should we make it 18 holes? Are those good plans? Do you have any other ideas that would make the course work any better? Go ahead and read that article. It's really cool. Eric did a fantastic job writing it. Let me know what you think about the compression data and how that's going so far and being able to collect that data and build that database. I'm definitely open to hear your guys' opinions. Stick around for the Sim League finale, which is coming up in the next couple weeks, and then hopefully we're back out for some real golf a few more weeks after that. But make sure to tap that subscribe button. Join the Muskrat Links golf team today if you haven't already. We've got so much cool stuff here on the channel that you can't get anywhere else. We're putting out some really good shorts this week as well. We've got some bangers coming, so definitely be sure to check out those shorts. Turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload any type of content. We've got the polls, we've got the giveaways, we've got the trivia, we got the shorts, we got everything out here. And we got the TikTok now too. The content never stops. But guys, I think that's gonna be it for me. Have fun out there, everyone.